The 2011 action-adventure video game LA Noire asks a very interesting question about the nature of police and the process of policing. It asks a question: who is a police officer? What do they do, and why are they important? And what does it matter to the general public? I believe that LA Noire is a great summation of many stereotypes and ideas about police that are shown throughout the course of the game's plot. To start, a brief summary of what the game is like, chiefly what the gameplay is. As you may be able to tell by the choppy gameplay in the background, it looks like many other open world games. You drive cars, you shoot guns, you chase people around. But mainly, it's a game about solving crimes, of being a detective, investigating clues, interviewing witnesses, and interrogating people to find out the minute details of their life and to figure out exactly what went down. So each game is divided between a desks, between traffic, homicide, vice, and finally arson. And each of these police decks and each section of missions from the game shows a different side of policing. And it summarizes all the different kind of tropes and ideas that mainly Americans have about police and their role in society. First off, to start with the game's protagonist, Cole Phelps, the guy in the fancy suit and the guy you see on the cover. Well, I mean, by the first looks, he's a real gumshoe. He's a hero that can't hang up his cape. War hero that came back from World War II, and now he's a crusader for the best kind of justice, an impartial, objective kind of injustice. Cole never really comments much about gender, never really comments much about race, or any of the other issues that some of the other characters fall into in this game. He's kind of a forward thinker. He's very objective. He doesn't settle for easy answers. He's the ideal cop and the ideal detective in many ways. He doesn't really care about what's going on. He cares about getting the bottom of the case and making sure people are behind bars. But like cop in this vein of Dirty Harry, he's quick with a pistol. He's no pacifist. He's not afraid of any violence. And on the first desk, traffic desks, is a very exciting part of the game. Each case is not connected to each other, and it's a large pastiche of car chases and interrogations, the best of the gameplay has to offer. And you're matched with Stefan, who is a your partner for this case. Each desk has a partner, and the first one is he's a Polish background. He's an immigrant. He's a hard worker. He's also a forward thinker. He's much like Cole Phelps in the fact that he doesn't take easy answers and is willing to get his hands dirty. The first desk, as a summation of who a police officer is somebody who is both a mundane investigator and an exciting, exhilarating enforcer of the law. And they work hard, they get the job done, they are dangerous. These are cases where the first case starts out with just a case of mystery and attempted fraud and faking death to the very end of it where there's shootouts with machine guns on a movie set. Perfect LA backdrop. Now moving on to the second designated in the game, homicide. You're tasked with Rusty, who your partner Rusty, who is a much more seasoned and senior detective, is always looking for easy answers. In many ways, the opposite of Cole. It's always the boyfriend. It's always the easiest possible answer. In this one, you're dealing with the connected cases of a serial killer that you don't figure out who the serial killer is until the very end. So the people you put in jail throughout the way are just red herrings. In some ways, this is shows the faults of policing. That there's maybe a bigger pattern, or maybe there's not. In many ways, the cavalcade of dead women that you find and investigate the murders of in this case are the beats of any police officer you would see on any other TV show, like CSI or any other kind of show. Homicide is the simplest of many cases. It's a murder gone wrong. The police are needed there because you need them to solve this crime that no one else is willing to do. In many ways, this this desk is the most simple of them all. In Rusty's worldview, the cop finds the easy answers, which is that people are passionate and commit crimes with disproportionate effects on the people that they care about. On the third desk, Vice is tasked with finding crimes related to drugs or other kind of more flashy scene. You're paired with your third partner, Roy, who is a cop that is basically a criminal. In the third type of stereotype or summation about police, LA Noir makes is that cops can be just like Roy. Roy is corrupt. He's mean spirited. He's someone who can't be trusted. He's like I said, a cop is basically a criminal. The Vice Desk tasks you with hunting down the remnants of a morphine racket. Military grade morphine is on the streets and it's causing people to OD in huge numbers. It's connected to Cole Phelps, the World War II lieutenant. His squad in coming back home is jealous of Cole Phelps and his detective ways and his name all in the papers, decides to make some money. So they ship the morphine back out of the streets of Los Angeles. In the end of it, you never really crack the morphine racket. The people get away. This Vice Desk shows the never ending nature of crime, that the corrupt people are sometimes too powerful and too much for your average policeman. Even a great investigator and cop like Cole Phelps can't bring down the powers that be because, in some ways, he is the powers that be. The police chief, property developers, the DA, the mayor, all of them are involved. In many ways, it harkens back to Chinatown or The Sweet Smell of Success, other noir films where the never ending nature of power is brought up, how the people in power, no matter how good the investigators or how morally upright or courageous they are, they will always inevitably fall to higher powers that simply want them out of the way. On the final desk, we get another and a more hopeful glimpse at policing. After the drudgery and cynicism that was involved in Vice Desk, that the crime and vice of the desk itself corrupts the police officers. Finally, the fourth desk is arson, where crimes don't really get solved much because it's hard to look around for fingerprints in a gigantic blaze. Biggs, the partner that you're paired with for the final desk, is a cynical older detective who has given up a lot of hope of finding any cases, particularly being on arson. And being matched with Cole gives him a newfound hope in solving cases and getting to the bottom of things. The two are both World War veterans. Biggs fighting in World War One, and Cole in World War Two. Both have an immediate connection to stop all threats, both domestic and foreign. So these two crusaders are matched up again to swiftly bring justice to the people at the very top. It's a version of a stereotype or idea about policing that with the right people in place, that and with directing the powers of the police in the right way, then good will come from it. However, this is a noir story, so it can't be that hopeful. In the end, the people that are involved with the racket, which are building houses out of cheap materials so that they can when the LA highways, which are being built at this time historically, the houses are eminent domain and the property value is sold for much more than it was ever worth. The real estate broker is charged with it, but the other people, the mayor, the DA, the chief of police, the other people that are involved with this crime of the century get away with it. In the end, after saving his mistress from a pyromaniac that was also involved in the military unit that Cole served in, Cole Phelps tragically and somewhat heroically sacrifices himself so that his other fellow investigator and innocent passerby can get away. In many ways, it's the epitome of a noir story of a good cop who bit off more than he can chew. He stuck it to the man, but the man got him in the end. With the ending of it, Roy, your partner from Vice Desk, gives a somewhat rousing yet hollow eulogy at Cole's funeral, and nothing seems to happen from it. In many ways, it's the epitome of a noir story. The good guy wins, but doesn't win that much, and the bad guys keep going. In the same way, it's a commentary about the stereotypes about police themselves. You see all sides of policing in LA Noir, the banal investigations, interrogations, the exciting Hollywood shootouts, car chases. But mainly, you see many different sides of policing. One that when they're hardworking and set to the right goal, the police can accomplish great things and really protect the public from dangers both petty and sinister. But at the same time, the police are corruptible and somewhat unreliable men. Even Cole himself is caught up in an affair that is publicized and scandalized to the media. In many ways, L.A. Noir comments that the men in the badges and holding the guns, if they are good, reliable people, can deliver results, but that the police, the badge, and the uniform is only as good as the people who are wearing it. Now, this is a very commonly held view here in the US about police that no matter what happens on the institutional level, no matter how many times maybe the bad guy gets away, that the best thing for police is the quality of the people that are wearing the uniform. And it's an aspirational goal that the people that represent justice in America care about justice just as much as Thomas Jefferson or some other aspirational figure. For LA Noir, for all its cynicism, harkens back to an old American idea that we tell ourselves about that if the right people are in the right place, justice will prevail no matter what happens and no matter what stands in the way.